humongous number of beta testers.
Oh,
right?
too many.
Yeah.
Get rid of them all. Nope. Honestly, get half of them out to hell, because I was thinking I'm going to do a little bit of
paying customers, Matt.
I know, and
now they're all testers anymore. They are on a VIP tour, also known as a VIP testing session.
Yeah, so I was I logged in. I haven't really had much chance to touch beta because I knew obviously it was falling apart. I'm like, I'm not going to bother with that just yet. So I hopped on. I was like, I'm going to do a full story playthrough and then like write a video about it. You know, see what the if there's any changes from alpha, see how it compares to like Dragonflight in its totality. Now the whole thing of like the launch stuff is there. So I'm going to do that. But then I was. I got disconnected halfway through like the first quest and had lost half my progress and teleported me halfway back to where I started. I was like, this is not a good start. And it was running at like 15 frames per second because, you know,
sounds about
there's
right.
About 70,000 people there on the Isle of Dorne. I'm like, I don't really want to do that, honestly. So I'll probably end up trying to do it like a really off time or something, or wait for a little bit longer for like the full wave. They need testers. Shut up. Do you ever hear of a joke, mate? I know they need testers. That's the whole point. They're stress testing it. They need lots of people to give the data that's everything working. I know that fully well. Thank you very much. But yeah, realistically, I was like, man, this is a lot of people. A lot of people doing a lot of stuff, barreling through. It's not the greatest experience, but obviously, you know, if you want the good experience, you can't really have it because that's the same way.
That's the weird thing about paid beta. Like. I mean, I get why they're doing it. It's a pretty good upsell. A lot of people will probably upgrade because, well, they can go see a few things and they'll also get the early access, right? So,
yeah,
I can totally see that. But yeah, fundamentally, the idea of paid beta kind of isn't really the thing. So, I hope that doesn't degrade, I suppose. I hope that doesn't degrade the quality of the feedback. Like, if you sort of have people going in there, I don't really know what the right word is, but if you've paid for entry into a thing, I think you're going to have a bunch of expectations about that thing. So I wonder if they will have, testers who sort of operate more like customers on the test realm and with the communication. So that could be one of those times where maybe what they want to do to hit their business goals maybe just won't help them as much for testing. But of course, that being said, having a massive stress test in right now is really good.
Yeah,
we obviously don't know sales, but World of Warcraft is, routinely will have multiple million pre-orders before the launch day. That's just because they do a whole bunch of things to, to pull all of those orders forward. I have no idea what... There we go. I just had to talk loud enough for it to switch to me. Right. So, I mean, I forgot what it was with Shadowlands. Was it 4.2 million?
Something along those lines, yes, because it was enough to be the fastest selling thing of all time ever.
3.7, and then Cyberpunk came and kind of mocked it. But anyway, it didn't sell 3.7 million copies on launch day. That was the number of units shifted like right through to launch. So, Dragonflight wasn't as much as that. Maybe War Within won't be as much as that either. Not because it's bad or anything, but because, it's no longer pandemic. I mean, come on, MMO in a pandemic, that's where, everybody's going to flock to that.
Oh yeah, that's the whole industry thing, right? Where everyone's like, oh, the numbers went up. They will stay up. Everything will be fine. Nothing will go horribly wrong at all.
And they were not.
Yeah.
So when you look then at the Epic Edition, most of the rewards you can use right now. So, I mean, we don't know how many people, but surely it's hundreds of thousands who got, beta access. Right? Surely hundreds of thousands.
I can't imagine otherwise, just because early access is such an unbelievably hard sell. And on top of that, World of Warcraft players are definitely, they're a very moded player base on average, which means they're going to be more than happy to throw the, $80, whatever it is for the early, the 80, 90, whatever it is. I can never remember the dollar price for the Epic Edition, especially when it comes to the fact that there's extra traders tendies, obviously, on the bundle. People will buy that, as well as, obviously, all of the gold testers. Gold testers?
Oh.
Gold sellers. Gold sellers who are now gold testers because they, obviously, if you've got 1 billion BattleNet balance, you're going to test. So, all of those players will be in testing things and stuff like that. But there was a thing I wanted to say with the number of beta testing, the amount of people, and how, valid the feedback is, because one of the things is people who are invited are more often than not either, they're going to be, high-end players, really long-time players, content creators, streamers, that kind of thing, and like family and friends like that, you're more likely to be someone who like actually plays the game quite a lot, quite well, understands it, has like a feel for it, things like that. But the beta test being paid does open it up to literally anyone, which I've already noticed the you know the way you find a player and you're like, I assume you're completely, you know, reasonable and like, you know, live a full life and are intelligent and whatnot, but it's just you go into the game and sometimes so you just don't have a functioning form of it. Like
for the sake of my own sanity, I'm not going to extrapolate how you behave in this video game to the rest of your life, because there's no way those things are going to be the same.
Yeah, so there was someone who was asking how to do a quest step at the very start. You know the memory gem?
Yeah.
In the place where it is this big glowing button in the middle of your screen that you press.
Oh, the extraction button.
Yeah, they were asking how to complete the quest step, and I was like, that's feedback they would never have gotten on alpha or on a more closed beta test. But now they've got anyone can do it, which means you're going to have a wider array of people in there.
Yeah, that's actually relevant. It's something I know they care about. Holly talked a bit to me about the new player experience. Just generally, we're always talking about new player experience because it's important to get new people in. Especially, it's like there's kind of different camps. A lot of MMO players, they move over to World of Warcraft and everything's a bit different. Like if you're used to a game that's got the structure of Guild Wars 2, you'll be very confused in WoW. Sometimes even like FF14 people can find a bit confusing just because the way the worlds are so completely different, like in their just how you interface with them. I mean, like FF14, everything kind of being, you know, instant stuff. So there's going to be like people moving from other MMOs who have got a completely different set of like initial assumptions and expectations as to how things should work. That's going to cause loads of confusion. And then there's people who go to an MMO and they haven't played an MMO before. So if you've played like just a bunch of, say, popular Xbox games or Fortnite or something, and you go anywhere near World of Warcraft, you are going to feel like you're in some arcane ancient realm.
Almost certainly.
Like, because, you know, in so many of those other, like, more modern games, you know, everything is so slick. It's so slick. It's so easy. Whereas here they are. The default key bindings are keyboard turning. That's something that's not good. The default hotkeys and stuff are kind of weird. So somebody... I mean, I don't know how you get a tester for The War Within who doesn't know how to use the extraction button. That's kind of been a thing for a while.
Yeah, but you do.
But it evidently happens. Mm-hmm. Does go to show that being a more mature genre is kind of tricky. Like, I think a lot of World of Warcraft's gains are going to be from activating its older audience. I mean, certainly a lot of its gains up to now have been that because Classic and everything. I wonder how they tap into new people.
I mean, isn't that the whole thing that Holly talked about with you? It's like, how do we get the new people? How do we get them? We don't know.
I know they have big plans. They have big plans and things they want to change for the future. I mean, to be clear, Holly said there were plans. I don't know what those plans are. It's kind of interesting, though. It's weird. Yeah, fuck, somebody who can't use the extraction button. Damn. But that is a great form of... I mean, there's lots of different types of testing, and maybe the thing that could be a bit of a challenge. Okay, so you'll have like a lot of testing that's to do with the load the servers are put under and all the different parts of the chain, sure. And there's the in-game stuff, bugs. But the other side that I think is most applicable is usability testing. So usability testing is just, you get a room with 20 average gamers, and into that room goes your video game. And we see what happens when it's put in their hands. What things confuse them? What do they not understand? And really this, yellow paint. I don't want to go and have the yellow paint discussion again. Because I don't know. It's kind of like beyond a meme at this stage. But yellow paint's a really good example of usability testing. I mean, before everything was yellow paint, I mean, surely... playing like, I don't know, PS1 or 2 platformer, the amount of times you could just be completely confused. And of course, in a more modern game, it's like, yellow paint, that's the thing you use. That's usability testing. And this thing with the extraction button for the memory gem, that's usability testing. I think it's just kind of tricky because whenever you are running a technical test, a bug test, and you're kind of getting little, shotguns of usability testing, it's probably hard to parse through all of that. But then again, I'm sure they have internal tools. I would wonder if they will be doing any AI-related stuff. I know that can be a bit of a spooky buzzword for some people.
Can't imagine so, because they don't even spell check quest text. So, like, I'm being serious. I know they're in a rush, but there's so much.
I always say that to mean if you have so many, hundreds of thousands of people with access to the beta, and you're just getting, absolutely inundated with stuff. Is there some sort of top-level thing that can yank out the text and maybe surface the sorts of problems that people are running into more frequently?
Yes.
That actually...
It's called a word cloud, Michael. I've had them for years.
Yeah. A word cloud with a bit more understanding. So I wonder, like, what sort of tools do they use internally to deal with hundreds of thousands of people leaving feedback? Now that, like, it is a beta that is so much bigger on its launch day than previous betas will have been.